The central government is considering reforms to the Insolvency and Bankruptcy Code to give it more teeth. According to sources, these reforms are likely to be taken up in the winter session of Parliament in December. For more on this, we're joined by Business.The TV special correspondent Karishma Sudani. Karishma, what are these new proposals? And currently, the haircuts taken by banks are as high as 95%. Is that going to change?
Well, Abha, you're right. When it comes to data, that's a very big number. In fact, if you remember, it's the Parliamentary Standing Committee on Finance that's headed by Jayant Sinha, which also pointed out this in last year in the month of August 2021, that what is IBC doing and if it's actually justifying its purpose. So now, if we look at it, for past 1 year, the central government is trying to introduce the amendments to Insolvency and Bankruptcy Code 2022, for which my sources tell me that will likely be taken up in the winter session. Now, if that happens, then government is of course aiming in order to work on faster resolutions and to give more powers to the Committee of Creditors so that as less as haircut can be taken. In fact, they also plan to put a certain number of days in which the NCLT can either approve or reject the case, which of course will try and clean the whole process of delays. Besides this, the government is also particular about introducing cross-border insolvency, which has been pending on its agenda for quite some time because of the involvement of certain foreign creditors who are looking into the stressed assets belonging to India. So it's likely that these two amendments could be taken up in the winter session, and if that gets cleared, then before union budget we will have a new IBC process to look in, and a better and a much more faster one.
Great. Thank you so much for that, Karishma. Lots to watch out for. The government also exiting Axis Bank with an offer for sale of its remaining stake today and tomorrow. The specified undertaking of the Unit Trust of India, SUTI, which holds the residual 1.55% stake in the erstwhile UTI Bank, is selling it off at 830.63 rupees per share. The non-retail portion was fully subscribed today. The government has approved an order of nearly 27,000 crore rupees from BSNL to TCS for rolling out the telco's 4G network. The government-owned BSNL is likely to soon issue a purchase order for 1 lakh sites. Vistara has increased its flight operation from Delhi to Frankfurt and Paris. It will be operating 6 weekly flights starting today. The frequencies were increased after the airline successfully inducted a third Boeing 787 Dreamliner in its fleet. Maruti Suzuki is slowly upping its game in the red-hot SUV market. Having launched the Grand Vitara in September, the company is set to roll out another SUV by March 2023. In an exclusive conversation with Business.The TV, Maruti Suzuki's Shashank Srivastava started out by revealing why the company is still bullish on the CNG segment despite spiraling fuel costs.
Is Maruti betting big on CNG, and the company is trying to get more hold of the CNG market, considering also that even though the CNG prices are high. So what is your outlook on CNG and why this move being done for the next half?
Yeah, so CNG is a very environment friendly fuel. So it's obviously helps us contribute to the for usage of of environment friendly fuel. At the same time, not just the environment friendliness of the fuel, but also the fact that the running cost of CNG still low compared, even after the increased CNG price, is still low compared with the diesel or the petrol. For a Wagoner, for example, the CNG running cost would be around 2.50 rupees per kilometer, as against almost 4 rupees 75 rupees for petrol and diesel. So I think it's from an economic point of view, running cost also, it makes sense to have CNG, and that's why we are seeing such a lot of interest in the CNG market. And in fact, this year, Maruti Suzuki will probably be selling 360 to 400,000 CNG vehicles. And this compares very favorably with about 230,000 odd vehicles that we sold, 234,000 last year. So CNG is a good option, and we can see going forward. In fact, diesel vehicles have been coming down as a percentage of the total sales. And in fact, Chetan, you'll be surprised that from Maruti, for the vehicles where we have CNG, almost 35% sale is CNG. And on an overall portfolio, 20% of the Maruti Suzuki sales are CNG.
And is more SUV coming up in this financial year. Can we expect that in the January to March quarter?
Exact timing is difficult for me to reveal, but yes, you have only 5 months remaining, and therefore we would like to introduce some of the SUVs quickly. And remember, in Chetan, we had this long discussion last time that is also central to our regaining the market share, because in the non-SUV market, while our market share is upwards of 65%, it is because we have a smaller market share in SUV that brings down the overall market share to below 50%. So we would like to achieve that 50% number. That has been a stated objective, and SUVs form an important part of that strategy.
Shashank, last two questions. How is the sales for Grand Vitara going, and are you considering to ask the government on any tax breaks for strong hybrids? Because ultimately, the government is offering some relief for EV. Strong hybrids also are a cleaner source of energy. So, any comment on that?
Yeah, so the Grand Vitara has been doing quite well. We have so far got more than 76,000 bookings, and we have delivered almost 13,000 cars. So that's a pretty good beginning, I would say, even though there have been some constraints in terms of availability. But yes, hybrids are a very, very good option. Grand Vitara strong hybrid gives the intelligent electric vehicle gives it almost 28 kilometers to the liter, and therefore very, very environment friendly. It runs on the EV mode and the urban cycle most of the time. So and it doesn't have that range anxiety or the charging infrastructure requirement. So I'm sure it's very, very good for the environment. And in that sense, I think it's logical that some support be given to the strong hybrids as far as taxation is concerned.